Grace in the storm. Havenbrook had always been a beacon of tranquility. Nestled along the coast, its picturesque streets and friendly community exuded warmth and charm. But now, dark clouds loomed on the horizon, signaling the approach of a formidable hurricane. Lena Parker stared at the ominous sky from her kitchen window, her heart heavy with fear and unresolved grief. It had been a year since her husband, Mark, had died in a car accident, leaving her to raise their 6-year-old daughter, Emily, alone. Her faith, once unshakable, had crumbled under the weight of her loss. "Mommy, is the storm coming?" Emily's small voice broke through Lena's reverie. Lena turned and forced a reassuring smile. "Yes, sweetie, but we'll be safe. We need to get ready, okay?" As they packed their belongings, Lena's mind drifted to Havenbrook's church. She had avoided it since Mark's death, unable to face the memories and the questions. Why had God taken him? Why had he left her and Emily alone? Meanwhile, at the church, Pastor Ethan Collins was deep in prayer. Newly appointed, he had been struggling to connect with his congregation and doubted his ability to lead them through this crisis. The storm felt like a test, one he feared he might fail. "Ethan," called out Mrs. Thompson, her voice steady despite her age. "We need to open the church as a shelter. People will need a safe place." Ethan nodded, trying to mask his uncertainty. "Yes, of course. We'll prepare everything." Emma and Jack Thompson had been married for over 50 years. Their home, filled with memories, was directly in the storm's path. Yet their faith remained unshaken. "God will provide," Jack often said, and Emma always believed him. Across town, Ryan Carter, a 17-year-old high school senior, struggled with his own battles. His father was deployed overseas, and Ryan felt the weight of responsibility. The hurricane's approach was just another challenge on top of his already burdened shoulders. As the storm neared, Havenbrook's residents gathered at the church. Lena and Emily joined the throng, Lena's heart pounding as she crossed the threshold. She found a corner and sank to the floor, holding Emily close. Pastor Ethan stood before the gathered crowd, his voice wavering but determined. "We are here together, and together we will get through this. Let us pray for strength and protection." The wind howled outside, and the church walls shuddered. Lena closed her eyes, tears streaming down her face. She prayed for the first time in a year, a desperate plea for safety and for a sign that God had not abandoned her. As the storm raged, the community pulled together. Emma and Jack led hymns, their voices strong and calming. Ryan helped distribute blankets and food, his actions speaking louder than words. Lena found herself talking to Mrs. Thompson, who shared stories of God's faithfulness in her life, each one a balm to Lena's wounded heart. Hours passed, and the hurricane unleashed its fury. The church stood firm, a sanctuary amidst the chaos. Inside, people comforted one another, their faith rekindled in the face of adversity. When the storm finally passed, the damage was extensive. Homes were destroyed, trees uprooted, and lives turned upside down. But amidst the wreckage, a sense of hope emerged. The community rallied together to rebuild, their bonds stronger than before. Lena found herself at the center of the efforts, her faith renewed. She realized that God had been with her all along, in the kindness of her neighbors, in the resilience of her daughter, and in the quiet strength she had found within herself. Pastor Ethan, now confident in his calling, led the community with a newfound vigor. Ryan matured, finding purpose in helping others and a deeper connection with his faith. The Thompsons' unwavering trust in God became a source of inspiration for everyone. Havenbrook began to rebuild, brick by brick, heart by heart. The storm had tested them, but it had also brought them together, revealing God's grace in every act of kindness, every prayer, and every moment of shared hope. Lena stood on the shore one evening, watching the sun set over the tranquil sea. Emily played nearby, her laughter a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Lena whispered a prayer of thanks, feeling God's presence in the gentle breeze. In the aftermath of the storm, Havenbrook had found not just recovery, but a deeper sense of faith and community. Through the trials, they had discovered that God's grace was not in the absence of the storm, but in His presence through it all.